Are you starting a new role or are you looking to start a new role? Well, I'm going to share with you 3 tips that will help you move up the ladder quickly. Before we get started, don't forget to press the subscribe button and press the like button if you like these videos, because I share a video every single week. So in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 tips that will help you stand out from amongst your peers and will help you move up the corporate ladder quicker. This is from a personal development perspective, and I'm going to have an entirely different video talking about how you do this from an organization perspective. How do you stand out and show that you add value to the organization? Make sure you stay until the end because I have a bonus tip for you all. So let's get started. So the first thing you need to do is outline your goals and your planned achievements for that particular role. Why is this important? In order to grow quickly within an organization, you have to be able to demonstrate the value that you bring to the organization. And in order to do that, you need to outline the goals and your planned achievement for that particular role. So how do you set a goal? In my experience, the easiest way for me and people that I've worked with to set goals is using the S.M.A.R.T goal framework. S.M.A.R.T is an acronym for S, specific, M, measurable, A, actionable, R, realistic, and T for timely. So let's break this down a little further. So the S, which stands for specific, should be one thought, one idea, one activity. It needs to be one specific thing which helps you focus on that particular thing. You can have multiple SMART goals, but each SMART goal should be specific. M stands for measurable. Your goal should be something that you can easily measure progress against. Also, you should be able to define your evidence that will prove that you have met your goal. A stands for actionable, and in some frameworks you might see it referred to as attainable. The goal that you define should be something that you can actually action. That is really important. So when you're defining your goal, make sure you outline very clear actions that are required for you to meet your goal. And R is for realistic. So I know we are all in this delusional mindset at the moment. There's a lot of content on TikTok of how to be delusional and creating this lifestyle from yourself. And I'm not kicking that trend or anything like that. But when you're setting yourself corporate goals, your personal development goals, maybe in a corporate mindset. And to be honest, I don't think these can only be applied in the corporate world. It can also be if you're a freelancer and you're trying to, define your goals from a work perspective. It's really important that your goals are realistic, especially your short-term goals, because these are short-term goals. These are not necessarily your 5-year plan or your 10-year plan. This is what you want to accomplish within maybe a year or 2. So they're more or less short-term goals. So think about what you can actually achieve. Those actions that you've defined previously, is this something that you can actually achieve within your position? You might have this great idea that I want to transform the entire organization, right? That is a great goal to have. However, as a junior consultant, is it realistic to have that goal? What might be realistic is to transform the way your immediate team thinks. So you might work in a team of 5 or 6. They might be using a specific tool which you don't think is great, or it's not great for your production and your team optimization. You might have another tool that you've used elsewhere or you've been doing research on, and that's a great tool for your team. And you can embed that tool and that way of working within your team. That is a realistic goal. So, for those of you and those of us who have delusional goals, set them aside, have a separate area for those. But for these SMART goals, you need to be realistic and very specific. And that moves us on nicely to the last letter in the acronym, T, timely. So you need to give yourself a time box. If you want to achieve this goal in 6 months, in 3 months, in 2 months, in a year, you need to be very specific. So that will also help you track your progress. And as human beings, we tend to perform better when we know that there's an end goal or there's something that is due on this X date. Like do you remember like at university, you might have an assignment, and I'm not very proud of this, but there were times that I knew an assignment was due in a week and I didn't start the assignment like a week in advance. But if you know the day before the exam is ready, I'm telling you, there's words, the ideas, everything just flows and you get it done. And unfortunately, that's how some people work. So setting yourself that end deadline, and you know you're working towards that end deadline, it helps you achieve your goals. So if you're still confused and are still wondering about what a SMART goal is, I'm going to give you an example of myself and with this channel. So my SMART goal for this channel is, within 6 months of creating content and uploading content consistently on YouTube, I want to have 1,000 subscribers. So let's break that down into a SMART goal. S is for YouTube. I'm being very specific about what channel I want to grow these 1,000 subscribers. I could have said all of my social media channels, make sure that I have 1,000 followers on TikTok or Instagram or whatever platform that I'm using. But no, I wanted to be very specific. One, because it helps me define very clear, actionable goals for this specific channel, because the algorithm on YouTube is different to that on TikTok and on Instagram, and I need to make sure that the content I'm creating works for YouTube instead of maybe Instagram. And I know I can repurpose content, but you get what I'm saying. My goal is measurable. We will all be able to measure my goal within the next 6 months, because I'll use the analytics that are within the app to check how many subscribers I'm getting per video and track whether I am on track to achieving these goals. If I'm not, there might be a new strategy that I need to put in place, maybe uploading more YouTube shorts or trying to advertise my channel a little bit more. And to be honest, I'm not very good at that, because most of my friends and family don't know I even have this channel. But when I'm a little bit more confident with myself, I'll start, sharing that information. But there are strategies that I'll start to put in place when I think I might not be able to achieve my goal. My actionable element within my goal is creating and uploading content. I have a poor habit of creating content and not uploading it. So for me, it was very important that I outline the 2 key actions that I need to do: create the videos and then make sure that I upload the videos. And R, which stands for realistic. I do think it's realistic to gain 1,000 subscribers within 6 months. I've done a lot of research and analysis on this, and it is very realistic. So for me, 1,000 subscribers is realistic. If I said 1 million subscribers, I think we might all be sitting here and thinking, Zainab, is that a realistic goal? So that's something that you think is attainable. Make sure you do your research and do some analysis to make sure that you are setting yourself a realistic goal. And as I've already mentioned, I'm giving myself a 6-month period. So that is my time box for achieving this goal. I hope that's been quite clear, and what I'm going to do is, in the description, I'm going to share some links to the SMART framework and other YouTube videos that also provide examples and a deeper explanation about SMART. Moving on to the second thing you should do when you start a new role. Outline the certifications, the badges, the training that you want to do. In order to do that, you need to understand whether your organization provides a budget for each employee. So some companies may say, after your probation, we have like £2,000 in the budget for your yearly training. And unless you ask, you will not know. They don't necessarily want to spend this money. So the more people who don't know, it's a benefit to them. So make sure you ask the questions, ask your line manager, ask your colleagues who've been there for a little bit longer, ask HR if you can, find out what your budget is. Find out the terms and conditions related to them paying for your certification. So some organizations might say, we need you to be with us for 2 years if we pay for your certification. If you leave prior to that, then you will pay X amount. Some organizations do that, some organizations don't necessarily care. But it's important for you to understand what those terms and conditions are. Once you've understood those 2 things, the third thing you should do is understand what qualifications from a skills and knowledge perspective do you need for the role above you or two roles above you. So for example, you might be a user experience designer and a junior user experience designer, and you want to become a senior user experience designer within 2 years. So you're skipping a grade more or less. But in order to become a senior UX designer, they require you to have in-depth knowledge and experience using design thinking, and you need to have a certification of being a design thinking coach, for example. You need to get that certification, and in order to get that certification, there's other certifications that you need to do before you reach that design thinking coach. So once you know that, that gives you enough time to plan all the other certifications that you need to do in the middle. That helps you plan your SMART goal as well. And that gives you enough time to find the experience that you need in order to support the certification that you're trying to get. Consider speaking to your line manager or your career coach, or to that individual who has the role that you want to be in within 2 to 3 years. Speak to them about the certifications you would like to take. Understand the certifications that they have taken, and understand how these certifications and this training and this new knowledge and skills that you will be bringing to the team will actually benefit the organization as well. Some organizations might ask you to justify why you want to do this training, especially if it takes you away from your day job, because they'll still have to pay you for your day job as you go away for this training. So make sure in your back pocket that you have defined your justification and the reason why you want to do this training and the value it adds to the organization. Also, you can add this training and this certification as a goal. You can turn it into a SMART goal as well, because that will also help you attain the goal a little bit quicker. Third thing that you need to do to help you move up the ladder even quicker is to understand the promotion process. Most organizations will have a defined promotion process. In startups or smaller companies or new companies, there may not necessarily be a promotion process, and usually the organizations are small, so you may not have a rigorous promotion process in comparison to those who work in big corporate world where there's thousands of you going up for promotion every single year. So make sure you understand what that process looks like. Make sure you understand the skills that they're looking for to move you up the next role. Make sure you understand what the salary expectations are as well, because when you do get the promotion and they give you a salary, you should be able to negotiate this salary as well. So making sure that you have a number in mind, like, I'm getting this role, I want X amount of money as well. If you don't feel comfortable speaking to someone about the promotion process, check on your internal intranets, like literally just search promotion process, how to get a promotion on your intranet, or there might be some documentation, or if you know a colleague who's recently been promoted, usually organizations will send out bulletins about people who've been promoted, and you might have someone that you previously worked on a project with. So message them, be like, oh, congratulations on your new promotion. I just wanted to understand how the process works, what you had to do, People like to share. It's, nature. Well, some people like to share anyway. So someone is more likely to share their experience and how they got promoted with you if you ask. Understanding the promotional process will help you understand and define the skills required, the experience required, the certifications required, the additional value you need to add to the organization, because some companies don't only care about what you do in your day job, but how do you add more value to the organization as a whole. So what corporate groups are you part of? Are you part of any D&I organizations? Do you do give backs and mentorship and all of those other things as well? And also any external work that you do that can also add value to the organization. So making sure you understand what those things are. Therefore, when you align your promotional process with your SMART goals and the certifications that you want to take, and you put it into this lovely little ribbon and say, this is how I'm demonstrating that I am working above my pay grade or within my band, if you work in like career bands. These 3 things will prepare you for that promotion when it comes along. Thank you for staying until the end, because I have the ultimate gem, and this is something most people don't talk about, but it is a secret within the corporate world. The bonus tip is find yourself a sponsor. When you get into an organization, within the first 2-3 months, figure out who could sponsor your promotion. It's unfortunate that this is the way the corporate world works, and it's not something that I necessarily like or support, but I know in my career having a sponsor has definitely helped me move up the ranks much quicker than my counterparts. I am going to create an entirely separate video on sponsorship and mentorship, because they are completely different things, but I know at times people use the words interchangeably. To recap, the 3 key things that you need to do when you start a new role at an organization, and I suggest doing this within the first 3 months. First thing, outline your goals and your planned achievements for this role. Second thing, outline the certifications and the training that you want to complete within this role. And the third thing is understand the promotion process and what it takes to get promoted within your organization. And as I gave you the bonus tip, find yourself a sponsor. Let me know in the comment section below if you've ever used these tips, and if you do end up using these tips, let me know as well, because I would love to hear your feedback. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. Stay until the end to hear my weekly recommendations, because I'm really excited about these ones, because I found my SoundCloud playlist, and yeah, I've got some great music recommendations coming down the line, so make sure you stay until the end for those. This week I am recommending a podcast called The Power Hour. In this episode they talk about confident communication, so they discuss tips and experiences of how to communicate in public spaces and in private spaces. And my song for the week, I absolutely love this song. I used to bang out this song in like 2016. I remember I had my first little mini, and it's Django Lover by Terry Apala. I hope I said his name right, but I love this song. It just, it just does what it needs to do. So make sure you listen to the entire song. It's a great song.